Beetroot, nature's powerhouse, packed with vitamins, antioxidants and nitrates, it's known to support heart health, boost stamina and improve blood circulation. Our beetroot is naturally grown and harvested at peak ripeness. The roots are cleaned, dried and finely ground to preserve their rich nutritional content, giving you all the benefits in one pure form. Add 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder to your juice, smoothie or water, or take it in capsule form as recommended by your healthcare provider. Beetroot helps enhance endurance, lower blood pressure, and keep you feeling energized and balanced all day. Fuel your body with the natural power of beetroot. Stay strong, stay healthy. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Reaching out to all my brothers and sisters on the African continent. You're tuning in to Black Hot Fire Radio, and you're listening to the Pan African Bliss Show with your host, none other than Joe Major Robinson.
Yes, good afternoon, family. Grand Rising. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Hope you had a beautiful weekend. Karibuni sana to another beautiful week right here on the media of the 21st century. My name is Joby to the first-time listeners, returning subscribers and listeners on our radio, on YouTube, Rumble, Beetroot, and of course to those who shall be catching this on Spreaker and Spotify. Karibuni sana once again. Hope you're ready for the conversations of this week and of course for today's Pan-African Belief Show, where we get to discuss matters affecting Africa and of course bringing up solution on every discussions we have in affecting Africa and its people, because it's not just Africa. When you talk about resources being excluded, the people are going through a lot because of not benefiting from their own wealth. But karibuni sana. Today we shall be talking about Nigeria. We are saying condolences to Nigerians who are mourning the former Nigerian president, that is Muhammadu Buhari, who was confirmed dead yesterday at night, rather passed away last night while in the UK clinic. I think this is funny as a conversation because it's a heavy time where African leaders need to start understanding your health, no matter where you escape, especially if you don't invest in your own people and yourself, which is back at home where you're leading the people. It's going to bite you. And it's biting them. This is not the first incident we've seen this. I remember there's a time actually reported the same incident where we saw an official who was in a very critical condition. I think it was a certain president who was actually hiding, or a king. And all these people are seeking medical attention literally outside the African continent because African leaders have really failed to create good healthcare system, even to protect their own selves. There's a time I shared a video of this man from South Africa who was also questioning the same. Funny thing, he's a health ministry, or the ministry, a minister of health, literally in South Africa. And it was like, it's such a shame to see the African leaders have failed to even secure something for their own selves. Sometimes, what if you're having a heart attack or something that is very, very serious that you won't get to the UK? And this is a good example. Literally, condolences to the Nigerians mourning Muhammadu Buhari. But we shall be getting into the details of that because when you look at his leadership and you look at the rate of unemployment right now in Nigeria, clearly there's nothing he delivered to the people. We have Tinubu, who of course is another incompetent leader. And of course, we shall be talking about literally how also African countries how much they spend to run for presidential seats. And it's a lot of money. You look at these people, how much they spend, how much loan they're taking, and still end up not delivering anything to the people. It's something, again, where we talk about accountability. But I'll be coming back with much more news and updates. We shall be talking about Africa, where it is sitting under trillions of wealth when you talk about untapped agricultural value. So why are we experiencing unemployment? That is something we need to talk about. We shall discuss what is happening between Nigeria and the UAE. We have Nigerians who have been banned from the age of 18 to 45, who cannot access visa to go to the United Arab anymore. And this is crazy because just few hours ago, you can see Nigeria and the UAE did forge a strategy partnership to boost youth digital empowerment. So let's talk about this. This is crazy. But also, we shall be getting deeper into details. Shout out to Senegal, which has refused the LGBTQ movement in their country. Senegal has banned the UN and Netherlands from holding LGBTQ. So I have a video which we shall be sharing, and it's expounding and talking about literally what is happening, or rather, or what is happening, or what did happen during the weekend, where we saw the African Union, or rather there's a report that the African Union members, which of course comprises of so many African leaders, most of them have said no to the LGBTQ movement. This is because, of course, of protecting culture and traditions in the African country. So Karibuni Sana, that's our topic for the day. But before that, I'd love to hook you up with some amazing organic supplements you can find on our application by downloading our app on the Google Play Store. Black Fire Network is the name. So in case you don't have our app, kindly take this chance, rush to the Google Play Store and download our app. You'll find us right there. And once you have the application, you have the 3 lines on your left, 3 lines on your upper left, and of course click on that, and through that you'll be taken to all our websites. And of course on the Beach FM you can get yourself some brain and focus as you get focused on today's conversation. Karibuni sana.
Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just 1 capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
And we have much more amazing organic supplements as well, not just beetroot, not just the Brain and Focus formula. We have amazing beauty supplements. We have amazing organic coffees. We're talking about Manuka coffee and so much more. We have sea moss, we have turmeric gummy bears. We also have amazing other goodies. So ensure you guys check it out, of course, by downloading our application. Black Fire, once again, is the name. In case you're facing any issues, we have an active chat just right there on the BHFN Sports page. You can chat with us, and of course, you'll be answered in case you're facing any issues with your purchase or after. Or rather, email us at kcnews15@gmail.com. Enjoy those amazing products, and of course, once again, karibuni sana. Like I said, we shall be talking about Nigeria, and of course, shout out to Nigeria. It's always part of my conversations, but today I do believe we have most of the Nigerians, probably, I don't know, maybe I'm assuming, I can't tell what is the atmosphere temperature in Nigeria currently after this news and reports that the former President Muhammadu Buhari has been was confirmed, of course. He did pass away yesterday. That is at a clinic in the UK. So we shall be getting deeper into that now, because why are we failing to create development in our own country? It's crazy, because if only we had an excuse of saying we're slow in development but we're doing it, it would really make sense. But I go back again to the previous shows I've done and the articles I've been reading about the IMF, the World Bank, and you get to understand where African countries stand when it comes to these organizations and the kind of mess we've really gotten ourselves into It's something you need to think about so deeply. Okay? We stand in a position where, number one, we're taking so much funds to never create any development, but for other people to keep on benefiting because all we're taking is fake papers. And yes, those fake papers right now have set up a certain sort of value, but only if you have so much. And you're talking about things like land, livestock. So much is gone right now that people can't afford. It is super, super crazy. Why is it that we've really failed to create development without tapping into these fake organizations, which have not helped us? Because I believe, if really we had good leaders again, I believe right now it's a high time to be awake, or waking up. If really, yeah, for real, probably if there were conscious leaders who are leading us, if you'd say the excuse would be, we've been kept in this narrative of colonization. The system has always been Western, and we didn't know how to escape. But right now, because we're getting informed as leaders and we're conscious, we want to go back to our ways of leading, and even way better, because technology is so advanced right now. We're in the 21st century. Talk about agriculture, because that is what is on my screen right now. Why is it that Africa, because we have Burkina Faso, which is thriving, a good example of Africa, we can thrive without depending on the IMF and the World Bank. They're setting a clear example and very strict and very straight. We don't need you. We can do it. You've always said for so long we can't. Let me show you, and let's show the world. Africa has always had the potential, and it's always been the potential. Information we're not being given as well. But I'm going to talk about agriculture right here, because during this weekend I did learn that Africa, and of course not just learning, but it made me question, of course, with all the conversations I have, why is it that these African leaders have excuses every goddamn time? We have something very valuable, which I talk about, is our soil. And this is why you see people like Bill Gates, who I'm about to get into, of course, even today on my conversation. We shall be understanding why no one is questioning Gates' global web of profits and patterns, the patents. We shall be getting deeper into that. This is why they're funding so much money to destroy our soil, telling us to, adapting to GMOs and their fake fertilizers, which is, we can't accept that. But I'm going to read this short article right away. And of course, with today's conversation, if you'll be able to connect the dots from this first conversation on the screen about agriculture, there's no way, or it should make sense why we're not supposed to be talking about unemployment rate. South Africa, it's crazy because it's one of the leading countries globally to have the highest rate of unemployment. That is South Africa. And crazy because I said last week and it sounded like a joke. This is why it literally makes sense why they're so xenophobic, or why they do have the xenophobic behaviors, if really that really makes sense. But yes, Africa is sitting on a $2 trillion untapped agricultural value. That is what Africa is sitting on. And of course, it does make, and it could be, I believe the worth is even bigger than that, because talk about what is being stolen even right now. It's way bigger than that. We're sitting on literally complete wealth. But right now, you look at most of the African countries, we're so dependent on aid. Go back to the IMF and the World Bank. That is what they really wanted. They make you dependent on them, even when it comes to now your own production of food. And then understand, we're also living in that particular agenda where they have their own agendas. I love the video that I have, which I'll be sharing, narrated by an AI. It's explaining very well how the agendas they have and they want them accomplished, how they're moving super fast. Of course, we shared that also sometime on the Africa Today show. But if we don't understand this very soon, which is also super late because they've already achieved so much, it's gonna be worse. They're saying Africa is sitting on a sleeping giant. Is sitting on a sleeping giant, a $2 trillion agricultural opportunity. Yet millions go hungry, and most countries import food from overseas. The irony is almost painful. It is. The continent holds 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land. It has fertile soil, which is, I call it wealth personally, rich climate. And of course, remember, they're pushing their climate change agenda So this is part of them destroying even our way of production, and those who are actually still relying on planting organically, if I'm really making sense. Rich in climate and a population ready to work. But instead of becoming the world's bread basket, many African nations remain insecure. Even staple like rice, wheat, tomatoes, onions are imported, costing billions in foreign currencies every year, which is very true. I mean, we've spoken about how we've seen the Chinese market or the Chinese people advancing so much in many areas of all this, especially when it comes to farming. Avocado right now, most of the Chinese have taken the market in most of the African countries. Talk about fishing, we've spoken about it, where we've seen countries like Namibia, how they are suffering because the Chinese are completely taking over their market. Jamaica, the same. It's crazy. I was listening to a video why right now where foreigners are, Jamaicans are not allowed on those beaches, like the beaches, they can't be on the beaches where the foreigners have bought the areas. This is crazy. We've been we've been colonized as we watch, and if you don't fight back, it's gonna be crazy. But they're also saying that why why the problem isn't land, the problem is politics. Literally, of course, we understand it is politics. We have arable land. We have 60% of arable and uncultivated land. So why isn't it creating job opportunities? Just the number one question. We have youths who are willing to work, and then something else also they did is they took out how is it called? I can't remember how it was called, but they took literally, we had classes even of planting trees. I think I've discussed this some time back, where you could actually, schools could meet up in a certain place and then plant trees there. Like this used to be something active. We used to learn farming, like it was still very active in the early 2000s. Farming was still in the system or in our system of education. I don't know, in Africa I'd say it was there. I don't know if it's in all African countries, all schools, but I remember personally we did go planting trees. We were being taught how to plant beans, maize, how to put fertilizers. This was education that was being passed from generation to generation. But sadly, as much as I'm questioning employment when it comes to agriculture, the knowledge is not there. It needs to be reintroduced. This is why you see most of the youths would rather say, or someone would say, like, agriculture is a dirty job or farming is a dirty job. They'd rather come in the city and work here, but not be on a farm, because the mentality has become, the narrative has been completely switched. But they're also saying across Africa, agriculture has neglected for decades. Government that focuses on oil, mining, and foreign loans, land is often tied up in the traditional disputes, political favoritism, or foreign leases. I mean, we've seen this. The UAE is taking so much land. Let's talk about that. Political favoritism. We keep on seeing it even today in Kenya. Traditional disputes caused by still politics and politicians. Farmers don't have access to modern tools, credit, or irrigation. Not anymore. I don't even remember the last time I saw a djembe personally, or an axe. I don't remember the last time I saw someone holding an axe. Maybe wireless, or maybe, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I saw someone holding a djembe. They're saying farmers don't have access to modern tools, credit, and irrigation. There's little investment in storage, transportation, or export facilities, meaning crops rot before reaching the market. Again, this is why I'm going back and saying that we've seen, of course, local farmers, local farmers, to be specific again, demonstrating every single time because of Indians, Chinese advancing in the market. Because, like we said, we have political favorism, foreign leases. So underline the key words: political favoritism and foreign leases. So the moment you have that, literally, of course, this all is going to be impossible. and for the market to be reachable. And when politicians do get involved in agriculture, it's often for photo op, to fund to fund cronies or not support real farmers. Subsidies rarely reach the poor. Fertilizer programs get hijacked. I mean, come on. We saw Kenyans being sold stones, soil for fertilizer. And again, this is what I'm talking about, where education and knowledge about farming is completely gone. It's crazy how we've been conned this much. You can't even smell fertilizer. This didn't make sense to me, and it still doesn't till today. And it's sad because we're talking about our own mothers, our parents' generation, not even our generation. Because my generation, like I'm saying, is the generation that is being told, leave the land. Farming is a dirty job. You know, no one has time for farming. You come to the city, can't make money in the city. You come to the city, you try buy ugali. Bro, it is tough. You can't pay rent, you can't pay water bills, you can't even go to work because you don't have transport. You can't even find the work, leave alone that. That was crazy. So yeah, they're talking about fertilizers being hijacked. And when politicians get involved in agriculture, it's often for photo ops or fund cronies or not support real farmers. Subsidies rarely reach the poor. Fertilizers programs get hijacked. Loans are handed to political allies. And the real opportunity, the chance to feed the continent, create jobs, and export goods, is left to die in the soil. Understand, soil is very rich. Understand why Bill Gates want you to plant GMOs. It's very deep. You know, it's crazy. Maybe someone can make me understand also, you guys who are listening. We've been seeing the ice. I do believe whatever is going on right now, I mean, it's good, it's beneficial. We've spoken about how the illegal aliens have taken job opportunities from so many Americans, you know, especially Black community, Black people being the majority affected, understanding how the system is set up. But I was looking at a video. I'm trying to understand what is happening right now. I believe there's a video I shared about inflation, I think twice, last week but one. Whatever is happening, I kind of believe is about control of food, because the people being taken back to their countries, the aliens, these are the people who are mostly working on these farms. I saw a whole, I don't know how much acre of a land that is, but tomatoes are rotting, like rotting. No one is there to pick the tomatoes. And of course, they're not trying to create also job employment in these areas as well, are they? Of course not. If I'm trying to understand Trump very well and how things are supposed to be going according to the Agenda 2030. This is about control of food. The agenda is literally already here. I think we did talk about it. Of course, it's been happening, but it's already here. Because most of these people are working in farms, in many sectors and areas. Now they have robots. I don't know. Is this where the robots come in? What we're talking about as well. The robots are going to completely take over everything. Like, what's really going on? I'm trying to connect those patterns. But back to what I'm saying, it's the same thing, literally. Because this is all political. The reason why Africa is sitting on a $2 trillion untapped agricultural value is because of political control system. Literally, it's all about control. And understanding they want us to keep on accepting aid, which is aid, GMO, that is still about control. Because you're going back into their system of their healthcare system, which doesn't work. This is why Buhari is dead. I'm sorry, Nigerians, but this is so true. Finally, something has happened to make these African leaders that are going to snap out of this understand, no matter how far you go out of Africa, hey, it's either you create it here, it can find you here, because I believe this is a whole other cost of bringing the body back, another cost of the states, because he's, of course, a former president, another, it's going to be a whole ceremony. A whole other money scheme also going on. And then you go back, ask, why is it that we're talking about lack of unemployment with all this untapped agricultural value. But I want to wind up with this article very quickly as I move on to the next conversation. They're saying, meanwhile, global giants like China, India, and the UAE, of course, which I did mention, quietly leasing Africa farmland for decades, are growing crops not for Africans, but to ship back home. So there isn't our own soil. Of course, because they don't have anything fertile like we do. They don't have any health soil like we do. Let me speak like that. Let me put it like that. I've said literally a couple of times, we need to understand our soil is like the way we consider gold, cobalt, and everything. This is also part of our wealth, and we need to protect it. But our leaders have completely sold our countries out, and Africa itself completely. And this is why this is happening. Because I'm going to go again before I get into how much literally all these presidents do spend to run for presidential seats. We want to understand why this is a global agenda. We have Bill Gates, of course, on our picture, who is one of the biggest philanthropists. Shatu Watan, she was talking about this the other day. I think we've also discussed it. I have also talked about it. Like, they come with the philanthropist names, these sympathetic names. We should be, I don't know if I should call them sympathetic or I should call them, but they're here for charity. You don't see the bigger picture of them taking advantage of you because you're also in a desperate position. The results, Africa imports over $35 billion worth of food every goddamn year. It could grow 10 times over, of course, even 20, even 50. Shout out to Burkina Faso. But instead of using its land to build wealth, Africa is stuck exporting raw commodities and importing finished meals. This isn't just economical tragedy. It's a political failure. The future of Africa lies in the ground. Whoever controls the land and uses it right controls the next era of power in Africa. So think about it. For the African farmers, for those who are listening, of course, you need to protect your land because we've been seeing, especially Kenya, I'd say Kenya is one of the front countries right now being used to fulfill global agenda 2030. Especially in Africa. I mean, we know the 4 jump-offs in Africa, Kenya being one. We have Ghana, we have Nigeria, and we have South Africa. But right now, Kenya is just on the forefront of everything. I mean, look at how the citizens are being treated. Just one of the way to tell you, we don't care about you. It's given one of the videos we shared when we had, I think, the Congresses being questioned, who do you work for? And they couldn't say whether Israel or America. It's the same thing. If Kenya today or most of these puppet leaders were questioned, do you work for your people or do you work for Israel? Most of them are gonna mama. And if they say it's to say to please us, because they also understand most of the Africans don't know this deep conversation, which is super, super crazy. But to Bill Gates very quickly before I go to that other article of their spending, because it's so much spending. So they're talking about why no one is questioning Gates' global web of profit. Of course, as Blackout Fire, we've been discussing this. We've questioned it. We've understood the patterns. We know this is just another puppet who has been given so much amounts of money, to fulfill what the masters need. And he's a good philanthropist, man. He knows how to talk. You listen through his voice, you know that this man is so kind and very willing to give. But he's a virus, okay? So they're saying a virus, but with a business plan, okay? You think of a virus as a crisis, but for the powerful, it's a predictable event that fuels patents, vaccines, philanthropic empires. No bullets, no bombs, just biology and billions, all right? Let's decode how disease became a $1 trillion opportunity. Because when you go back to disease and then focusing on agriculture, which we just talked about, they're killing our soil using the GMOs they want us to eat, which is creating cancers. Again, we're talking about going back to their system of healthcare, which is not meant to cure you, but to kill you. Gates Foundation, the charity or the control, we have the world's most powerful health philanthropy, funds the WHO, CDC, and major labs, He controls global vaccine agendas through donations. When you fund both the problem solvers and the solutions, you own the game. But he doesn't own the game. Let's remember that. He is part of the game. He doesn't own the game. He just obeys. The vaccine loop, how is it modeled to work? They're also talking about every yearly funding, every early funding or early funding of virus research and biotech startups. That is one of the things, how the model works. Early funding of virus research and biotech startups. That is number one. The second one is patents of vaccine techs, the RNA platforms and delivery methods. Of course, we know all this. Policy influence through WHO, Gavi, and media, which they control. Mass rollout during crisis with mass profit. It's not a conspiracy, it's a corporate of pipeline. It's a pipeline of corporates, literally. Gates and the patents playbook, they invest early in the mRNA and viral vector tech. They also pattern with the modern biotech CureVac. He holds patent stakes in delivery platforms and diagnostic tools. The patent is equal to the particular profits, and especially when global crisis hits. I don't know if you're following, but which we have Gavi, the Vaccination Alliance. How is Gates connected? Founded by Gates Foundation, distributes vaccines in 73 plus countries. Listen, works with the WHO, Big Pharma, World Bank, which of course we know all these organizations who controls them. The same people who control Bill Gates. Come on. Gates funds it, and Gates funds it indeed, of course. He sits on its board, shapes its agenda. To a private network disguises as public health. The problem is equal to the prediction and the pre-planned. We're talking about an Hegelian dialectic, if I'm not wrong. Problem, prediction, pre-planned. Problem, prediction, pre-planned. Problem, prediction, pre-planned. It's literally equal to almost nearly to an Hegelian dialectic, if it's making sense. In 2017, Gates warned once of coming pandemic. In 2019, Gates co-host events 201, a simulant of global virus. In 2020, the pandemic hits. Gates is everywhere, and media, vaccines, and solutions. Coincidence? No. Or is it a choreography? That is what they're asking. We have Moderna, the perfect case study. Funded by Gates pre-pandemic, patented by the mRNA delivery year. Gates Foundation got equity in the company. COVID hits, Moderna value explode, and we know the causes of all this. I don't want to go deeper into it. We know the causes of all this. Like literally, this man again. There's a video what we're talking about on Friday about the launch of national. It was the launch of national. The launch of national deworming. Yeah, deworming. Remember, this is what they're pushing now in schools in Kenya. They did this in 2013. Not sure. Of course, some students in Nigeria were affected. I'm not sure about Kenya because I remember my sister was one of the people who came to report home. So, and then this is without parental consent. All those things mentioned, Bill Gates doesn't fund them. It's just being used, of course, to fund all this. Then we go back to the project again of agriculture. It's also being used. They have not mentioned it there, but it's also included. Is the person literally pushing all this BS of we need to adapt to genetically modified foods, pushing African countries to fall for this narrative? And they even put in or trying to introduce a law, if you don't obey into this, these are the consequences. And I'm glad. I don't know if the African Union as a board is finally waking up, or this is just for the props with one agenda. I don't understand, but we shall be getting into that because for so long we should have seen the African Union rejecting many things, uniting, saying we don't need you controlling our farming, we don't need you controlling our health, we don't need your vaccines. We'll find and figure out ways like Ibrahim Traore, go back to science, real science. So it's really, really sad that we really failed. But going back to now the funding, because we're trying to understand literally again, Why is it that Africa youths are so unemployed? Understand that. Why is it that so many African youths are unemployed? Starting from the point that we're talking agriculture is that much, and even much, much worth than they're saying, because they control the narrative too through their Google. They own all this, most of these websites. So we're trying to understand that. How much does it really cost to run for presidential seats in Africa? I was shocked. I was really shocked, family. In Nigeria, it's $100 million. Not Nigerian, not Naira, dollars, okay? We're not talking about their currency. We're talking about dollars. That is in Nigeria. But this is one of the countries as well. Let me look at what point, at what number does Nigeria stand in the rate of unemployment? At what number does Nigeria stand? Okay, so Nigeria unemployment rate has seen fluctuations recently. The most recently official data indicates the rate of 5% is the this is a lie. This is a big lie. This is a big lie. 5% in the first quarter of 2024. This is up from 5%. That is 5.3, and then it is up from 5% exact in the third quarter. This is a goddamn lie. Nigerians are everywhere trying to look for money and scamming people. Nigeria actually is one of the countries rated just recently as the highest, biggest scams. And this is because of lack of unemployment. But they use 100 million in political, this is vying for presidential seat. And I'm just trying to ask and look at now Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. These leaders have been appointed without using any funds, but just delivering to the people. So what do these funds really, really do? That is what I'm trying to understand. What do they really do? What are the funds supposed to do? Buy votes? Apart from bribing people, that's what they do. And of course, this is just the president. We've not put the MPs, the governors, all these other idiots who don't do anything for the people, but just they're growing their balloon stomach like the president. What? This is crazy. Unless these funds is going to be distributed among the other officials, I bet this is just for the president. So he pockets all this money. Is this for the assurance of you're gonna be a president, or for a start? I don't get it. I'm really confused. We have South Africa. Nigeria is worse, I bet. South Africa is 20 to 50 million. Ramaphosa, he has delivered nothing to the people, just speaking punctual English and looking good in suits. He can't explain, which I'm about to share. He can't explain why there's lack of opportunities in jobs in his country. Oh, you know, our countries are very slow on development. Why? Kenya, 50 million. Look at Ruto. Ruto, 50. We used 50 million for a presidential seat, for running for a presidential seat. What job opportunity has he created? You guys, you've been seeing the cases in Kenya. You've been seeing it's all about shooting because youth are demanding accountability. So what are these funds supposed to do? I'm trying to understand. What do they do? These funds are supposed to do what? Lie to the people, because all they do, what I've seen, is people getting bribed 500 and you're told to come and vote. And that's it. Ghana, 10 to 15 million. Nothing. Still, not delivery. DRC Congo, 80 million. You guys, DRC Congo with that, this is so crazy. DRC Congo, 80 million. They spend 80 million for a presidential run, for a presidential seat, or running for a presidential seat, if I'm explaining well. 80 million. Look at the people of Congo. The country itself is being extracted. lots of resources. This is crazy. I'm trying to understand something personally. Maybe I'm the one who's not understanding how politics run yet, especially when it comes to these presidents. Because again, like I'm explaining, I just saw Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. These leaders have been appointed without any funds. They didn't have to have all this money to be up. People just say, we want you to be the leaders because you're delivering. And that is all Africans, the youths also, that's all they're asking. Deliver. You promise you're gonna deliver. But it's crazy that, and they've not even mentioned all. Just we have DRC, $80 million, and in dollars. We're not talking about their currency. That's the saddest part. They're not talking about in their own currency. They're talking in dollars. Ghana, 10 to 15 million. Kenya, 50 million. South Africa, 20 to 50 million. Nigeria, 100 million. And the amount of oil extraction in Nigeria, you can't even make that shit up. Where is all this money going? I don't get it. Even if you're pocketing it to come create development later, from your own pocket, it would make sense. But we don't see nothing. Now, listen to Ramaphosa. This is Ramaphosa trying to explain why his country has the highest rate of unemployment.
An opportunity.
Ramaphosa speaking now.
Why it has the highest rate of unemployment in the world. Because just recently, I think I did read that article for you guys. Let me try find it just right here a minute. South Africa was rated being with the highest rate of unemployment globally. Now, you do question, because sometimes personally I've been trying to understand, why is it that these people are so bitter with other African people for going in their country? It really makes sense. If this is what is happening and if this is how deep it is, it really makes sense. I'm not saying it should be tribalistic, because also other African countries are facing the same. It's not like we're doing better. Just because you are the highest doesn't mean Kenya is doing okay, Malawi is doing okay, Zambia, Zimbabwe are doing okay. Many African youths are living on a hand to mouth. This is why you see people have the energy to go demonstrate, because they are used to staying angry, and it's no longer want to be. They no longer want that life of surviving, of you don't know tomorrow what's going to happen. If you try demand for accountability, you're going to be shot. Like Ruto said, shoot them on the leg. South Africa has the highest youth unemployment rate in the world. South Africa is facing a youth unemployment crisis with 62%, 62.4% of the youth people unable to find work. This reflects deep-rooted challenges. This reflects deep-rooted challenges in the country's economy, such as slow growth, limited job creation, and lack of skill development for young people entering the job market. And of course, we have South Africa being one of them. We have Spain, which follows. We have Italy. I don't know how these countries are put here, but yeah. I don't know if I think they should have given us just only Africa. But let me share what Ramaphosa is saying for you guys to understand what is really happening. And his explanation is not even making sense.
Now to the Eminent Persons Group for the National Dialogue. Let's listen.
Hold back our country's progress. Our economy has not been growing, and the numbers of unemployed.
Why is your economy not growing? Why will you have a whole Orania in your country? You have white people setting up a whole other country in your country. They have their own currency. They're talking to your people crazy. They're treating your people like slaves. Your country. Why isn't your country developing? Let me ask you, Ramaphosa. What is the problem? What is happening? What is the problem? Because I'm just, again, going back to the first discussion. If you've been following up, we have 60% of untouched arable land. Why is it that we're talking about lack of job opportunities? Because farming actually has a big profit in Africa. Globally, not just in Africa. I've just read China, India, UAE. These people are leasing lands, and it's large arable of lands, farming here and exporting food back to their homes. And sadly, they're using our people as slaves. I'm going to say it as it is. Because you're going to be paid breadcrumbs while people are taking the whole bread back to their homes. Our countries are not developing. What the hell, man? This is why, again, you'll see Trump disrespecting the shit out of you. Because what? You can't even explain yourself. You don't even know how to lie.
Employed people has been rising. In many areas, we have seen a deterioration in governance, a decline in the delivery of services, and widespread corruption and a wastage of public resources.
As the president, what have you done to deal with all these cases? Because you're just yapping about it. What about the people you've put in these, seats, these positions of delivering and ensuring that through development, they're delivering this and this and this? As we talk about this, we saw white farmers, white South Africans, Afrikaners, okay, saying that South Africans are lazy to farm. Generally, you're saying Africans are lazy to farm. So this is why you think it's okay for you to come and steal land and feel comfortable and all that. But that's not even the problem. Which is a problem. They comfortably said, and we saw how many acres of land they have. Talk about the acres of land we have. You find 2, 3, 6, 10 black people working there the whole day without food or water. If you didn't carry your own, you can't drink the white man's. What have you done as the president of South Africa? Your people keep on complaining about other African people coming into your country who are also seeking the same opportunity because your bootlick of friends, you've refused to do something for the people. And then when you talk like this, you're kidnapping people. When youth are expressing themselves, talking about what is happening economically, why people are struggling, you want to keep on abducting people. It's unacceptable. This is crazy. This is even irritating me. This is so insane.
At the same time, we have seen an increasing disengagement by many people from the democratic process, as witnessed.
Listen to how this guy is even talking. Who listens to who's oh my goodness. What?
By the turnout of people who did not vote in the May 2024 elections.
This has nothing to do with voting. That is the excuse. This has nothing to do with voting. Like literally, I don't even need to share more, you guys. If you're not getting irritated like me, I'm getting irritated because, yeah, number one, this guy looks super sleepy. Super sleepy. Then you ask yourself, why is Trump disrespecting the hell out of these people? Like, look at this man talking on your screen. Looks super sleepy. These are president delivering and addressing the economical issue, or literally addressing the youth and why, explaining why there's lack of job opportunity. Our development is slow. What development have you created apart from Orania? That's all we can see. Why people are benefiting more than your own people. Now your people are mad at other African people who are also seeking the same chances. This is so crazy. But sadly, this is the reality of what we've been living with for so long. We've really been comfortable with this. There's so much untapped opportunity that youths can actually benefit from. So much. But because you fail to create it, and because youths are seeking it outside, this is the type of behavior you're gonna get from the people you're collaborating with. Because I just read China, India, the UAE are leasing huge chunks of acres of land. They are benefiting from your countries, not just one country. All majority of the African countries, if I'm to literally look, probably most of the African countries apart from the Alliance Sahel state, all of them, you'll find that they are cooperating with the UAE in different ways. It's always cooperating. Look at how smooth the term is. Cooperation. But right Now, Nigerians have been banned from the UAE, but Nigeria, this is literally just a few days ago, 2 days ago. Nigerians were banned from the UAE last week on Friday, but just 2-3 days ago, Nigeria and the UAE forged a strategic partnership to boost youth digital empowerment. Talk about it. But this is the type of treatment they give your people, because you've created
the United Arab
development. You keep on begging and knocking on doors.
Emirates has followed suit with even tougher restrictions. In a fresh directive to travel agents, Dubai Immigration says Nigerians aged 18 to 45 can no longer apply for tourist visas unless a company have been suspended entirely. For those aged 45 and above, a personal bank statement showing a monthly balance of at least $10,000.
Yeah, they want to see if you're a broke-ass Negro coming into their country to scam people, because they have seen, of course, the rate of scamming, which is, of course, like I said, very high in Nigeria. These people are always just going to scam people. And now, wow, everywhere they go, it's crazy. So, yeah, you need to... The applicants who are supposed to be 45 plus of age must show 6 months bank statement. 6 months bank statement with at least 10,000 US dollars. Monthly balance. Who in Nigeria is making $10,000 monthly? Apart from Tinubu and these other accomplices. They have restricted the tourist visa to those over 45 or companies, and the UAE announces the touch of new restriction for, that is the Nigerian, of course, nationalists. Like, crazy.
Over 6 months is now required. This move comes less than a year after the UAE lifted a 2-year visa ban on Nigerians. Earlier on Tuesday, the US also reduced most non-immigrant Nigerian visas to single entry with a 3-month validity. Both countries say the new measures are aimed at tightening, monitoring, and protecting their immigration systems.
Protecting, but you'll find them in your country, leasing lands, and working you like donkeys because you need $2 to put food and gare in your stomach. My friends, you need to wake up. Africans, we need to tit for tat. You need to start reciprocating energy, just like Keith was saying, literally. It's time to reciprocate energy. You can't keep on just being smooth. It's okay. There are friends now. They can just, tit for tat. Should be reciprocated. It should be reciprocated. Nigeria has entered into a significant partnership with the United Arab Emirates to equip young Nigerians with advanced digital skills, entrepreneurial training, and access to global innovation networks. I'm going to read that again. Nigeria has entered into a significant partnership with the United Arab Emirates to equip young Nigerians with advanced digital skills, entrepreneurial training, and access to global innovation networks. I'm trying to understand, how is this going to be happening while you're banning people to come from, in your country? I'm just trying to... It's super crazy. But shout out to you, Joe Mosquito. Hope you're doing amazing. Yeah, that was Cupcake Ramaphosa. Hope you're doing amazing and had a beautiful weekend. But as we literally get closer to winding up on the last conversation of the day, and we should have seen more of this boldness from a long time ago. This is what I'm saying. If the African Union literally truly did stand up and talk about not wanting to accept the LGBTQ agendas in their countries anymore, then it's so much we should have said no to, like, from a long time ago. But we've really failed. But shout out to the Senegal president. He did ban the UN and Netherlands from holding the LGBTQ event in the country over cultural values. So with that, we have literally, this was happening during the African Union meeting in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. So I'm going to share the video as it explains much deeper. And then we're going to wind up, of course, with what is happening with the former president, because...
Wind up? Didn't you just start?
Okay, you're so late. Did you wake up right now? Did you wake up right now? Good morning.
Good morning. Shit, goddamn. Winding up. I just wake up now.
I think you just woke up right now, because I've been here for the last now 1 hour. But karibu sana. Yeah, let me just share this video here of what it's talking about, and then we get to finish with Buhari.
Pushed by UN.
The worthless African Union controlled by white people. It's just worthless.
Well, I don't know how true this is, but if this really did happen, it's not mentioned, because if they're saying the African Union, it's not really the whole board of the African Union members. It's specific African nations or the representatives who are talking about, not accepting the LGBTQ agenda in their countries. Because I love the fact that this video even went down to say, you can't just say as a continent we're refusing this while we have other African countries which have already said yes, like South Africa. Kenya recently just said yes to this. And then which other country? We have so many countries actually who on the law, as much as it's not really that much, they are tolerating this type of behaviors. Before
they don't control the country. They don't control the country.
Before Kenya openly, now we saw Ruto saying that he's going to accept the UN funding and all that into this organization, and their rights should be protected. We saw Uhuru Kenyatta standing with the culture and tradition, saying we don't want this. This is not our traditions. We don't do this. Some of the leaders have been bold enough to talk about it. Shato Museveni as well. And we've seen Uganda being sanctioned after that. And this is why, again, I go back to the IMF and the World Bank. Once you're in these deals, no matter how many times you say no, you're already in. You're going to have to bend down into some other thing. You might say no to this, but bet sure they're going to break your back. Like Keith says, they'll find a way of breaking your back. So let me continue with
Tisu Vanuatu, Africa is standing its ground. Part 1, the midnight meeting in Addis style. It was supposed to be a quiet diplomatic check-in, but at 11:46 p.m. last night, inside the African Union's headquarters in Addis Ababa, tensions erupted like thunder. According to SABN insiders, a high-level emergency AU meeting ended with a historic declaration. The African Union will not be forced into adopting LGBTQ policies that are contrary to its cultures, spiritual values, and sovereign constitutions. Boom.
I mean, I just want to pause on that, because if really the African Union as a whole
doesn't control anything,
did respect, I know, if they really did respect our cultures and traditions, do you know how many have been broken? Do you know how many cultures and traditions have been broken to this point?
Exactly.
Do you know how many times these white people have been disrespectful to Africans, and none of you have said anything about it? You keep on yapping when you go to interviews like Kagame, say, these people are controlling us. We just want to be seen with white people. I can't imitate that nigga for sure, but anyway.
That statement, delivered by a senior AU envoy in response to increasing pressure from the United Nations Human Rights Council, is shaking the world today. According to Protocol Black, our inside source who monitors AU diplomatic systems, several Western diplomats stormed out of the Zoom call when the AU said no to all mandatory LGBTQ alignment clauses tied to international funding and human rights agreements. Part 2, what the UN wants Africa to do. Here's what triggered this standoff.
They want sodomy. They want sodomy in Africa. They want male penises in people's mouths and all that kind of wicked shit. That's what they want. And as African people have been said no. Go ahead, Joe.
For universal protection of LGBTQ rights, and began linking international funding for aid, trade, and development to LGBTQ legal alignment.
That's why we go to understand the IMF and its conditions.
Exactly. You don't need no aid. How about you take back your countries? How about you don't need no aid? Nobody.
Exactly.
Some of the demands allegedly include making same-sex marriage legal in all African countries by 2030, protecting LGBTQ individuals under hate speech laws, including pastors and traditional leaders, introducing LGBTQ inclusive education in Africa.
So you see, literally, because back then,
they try and destroy you. They try and destroy Africa. You understand this? They try to make sure you'll never be able to fight again if you ever get on your feet and off your knees. Your whole societies will be dysfunctional. That's what they're doing in your face. Go ahead, Joker.
Because I was saying, growing up, we've seen pastors being very strict, even on allowing these LGBTQ groups come in. Like, you could be questioned, you'd be chased out, you're not accepted there. This is not about, oh, God accepts everyone. No, this is wrong. It's about a man and a woman. You can't come in the church as a man, you're dressed like a woman, and you have makeup on and live cross-blind. Go back home. Go learn something about yourself. Who raised you?
African schools, punishing anti-LGBTQ propaganda with sanctions of mind.
Can't have a dress on, Joby. Have you like that guy from Tanzania? Say he's got the big equipment. He's got big tool.
Oh my God. I bet probably it changes to be a. He can change to be a, because that is a same. That was a hell of a same. Can't do anything for their money. Like, I got big. Yo, that was.
It states the following threats: Africa's exclusion from global trade reforms, denial of visa access to world forums, and financial sanctions against non-complying member states. Part 3, AU's fierce
Africa doesn't need any trade with anybody. Everybody needs what Africa has. If these bootlegs get off their knees, okay, you gonna close trade with me? Are you out of your mind? That means the world will implode, because all the trade comes from Africa. My minerals is what powers the world. Okay? Boycott me. I can get all you white people out of my country. All your mining equipment, all that shit out. You hold the power, Africa. And once you understand this, you hold the power. Nobody holds the power besides Africa. Nobody. So, how about you gonna ban me from trade? You sound crazy. No, okay, nothing for you.
And that's exactly what I just said. I'm just from talking about Nigerians being banned from the UAE, traveling there. The visas have been denied. That is the age of 18 to 45. And in case you're traveling, you have to show your bank account balance. For the last 6 months, you've been earning $10,000. And I'm asking, who in Nigeria is earning $10,000 monthly in Nigeria? These people
They know that. They know they're not.
These people are everywhere in the world trying to scam people. And then, funny, crazy thing, Nigeria, 2 days after being banned, they are collaborating with the same idiots who are actually pushing them out of their country, claiming they're building a strategic partnership to build youth digital empowerment. Make that make sense to me, kindly. Just make that make sense.
It makes sense that you should be ashamed. That's how you want to take that to Africa. You should be ashamed of what you become. The bootlegs of the world, your leaders are goofy weirdos, and just your laughing stops. You let somebody ban you, and you're not meeting them with the same energy. Nigeria is richer than fucking the UAE, but you got morons who have led the country for 60 years. 60 years of morons.
Exactly.
Right?
Literally. And it's insane. Let me finish.
Is cultural invasion. AU Commission Chairperson Mahmoud Ali Yusuf reportedly fired back. Africa welcomes diversity and human dignity, but do not confuse.
I would say we failed to have more of Idi Amin's. Idi Amin's was reciprocating energy. Exactly.
Well, they got rid of him. Exactly.
You can just tell me you making money out of my country, especially treating my people like slaves, and you want to come talk shit to be
exactly.
And tit for tat, and that is literally most of these African nations that fail to do that. That's exactly. Why the disrespect. You go to Trump, he's gonna ask you talk English, you talk such
and then Trump's gonna tell you, hey Negro, I don't got time for you. I got another meeting. Hurry up.
A country that was colonized by your people. What do you mean that I talk English?
Exactly.
Human rights with cultural sabotage. The African Union Peace and Security Council, often reserved in tone, also issued a warning. No African child will be taught that their ancestors were wrong to build society around family, manhood, and motherhood. Chairman Shadow, our top AU insider, called the moment a turning point of identity versus ideology. Part 4, the division within Africa. Let's not lie to ourselves. Africa is not united on this. South Africa already has LGBTQ protections in its constitution.
Because of the white people there.
during the AU statement.
And we know who runs South Africa. The cats with the hats. Okay? Oppenheimers and De Beers are cats with hats. And they run that country. Everybody knows they run it. Not these goopy Negroes, Ramaphosa or Juice Molina goopy ass doing his goopy speeches. We know the cats with those hats openly run South Africa. Openly run it.
We have our answer. We have our answer from why he said our development is very slow. That's why our employment is very, unemployment rate is very high. Excuse me, what have you done about it? Oh, the cats with the small hats are there.
Rwanda, Ghana, Tanzania, fiercely opposed to LGBTQ laws.
Yep.
These countries see it as Western manipulation. Rwanda and Kenya, walking the middle line. Politicians speak both ways. Burkina Faso and Mali, strongly against. They say it distracts from real African priorities like poverty and land.
Exactly.
But here's what shocked insiders. Even Francophone countries that rely heavily on Western donors backed the AU's resistance. We will not trade our heritage for aid, a diplomat from Senegal reportedly said. Part 5. What is the West really pushing for? Let's connect the dots, shall we? Western countries and institutions have allegedly made it clear global governance must include LGBTQ uniformity. SABN obtained a copy of a 2024 draft agreement from the World Trade Conference.
That's always been their culture. Even when they adopted, stole Christianity from African science, they had to put that in there because they've always had sex with animals and the same sex. That's their European culture. Okay? That's always been them. And now they're just coming out of there. That's always been their culture. Bestiality and homosexuality has been the norm. You're like, what? Yeah. That's always been their culture. Always.
Brussels.
Go ahead, Joe.
In it, African nations are asked to review and revise cultural institutions that propagate heteronormativity, realign national constitutions to global LGBTQ equality standards, facilitate inclusion training for military and government sectors. That means your parliament, your pastor, your police, all must change or get punished. Part 6. The real fight, sovereignty versus funding. This is not just about LGBTQ, it's about control. He who feeds you can starve you, as our elders say. The UN and its partners are reportedly offering $4.2 billion in education, gender, and health support in 2026, but only to nations who ratify inclusive reforms. That's blackmail with a bow tie. The AU's concern? If Africa bends now, what else will they demand later? Will African spiritual leaders be jailed for quoting scripture? Will initiation schools and traditional marriages be declared abusive? Will a child identifying as non-binary be removed from a rural family? Part 7.
Yeah, because remember, these were part of the, if I remember very well, Joe Biden's administration's agenda. Take the child.
It's not Joe Biden. Joe Biden was a puppet like all my puppets. That's the agenda that you know who to run this world. That's why you see the UN, all the push. They create the UN. They create the IMF, the World Bank. That's their fake money system that they'll say, oh, you must not implement our wicked ass policies. The answer is no. We're not implementing none of that shit.
Period.
And the money comes from us. Your fake money is nothing but fucked up paper and words on paper. It's absolutely nothing. If these morons get their shit together, they would understand that. Your paper money is nothing without my mineral.
Period.
You come to me with some fake ass paper from a tree, talking about you want to buy my shit. You out of your mind? Yes is no. But you won't get right. You will not refuse to unite and build a real military to fight these beasts. That's what you're going to have to do. Don't stop smiling in people's faces as they push their filthy behaviors. This is filthy. You understand that? They try to normalize filthy behavior until you're uncivilized if you don't allow us to promote our filthy behaviors to you. The answer is no. Hell no.
Period.
But about that goofy ass Barack Obama that's telling us about because he's with a man with his slick ass and all these dumb ass Negroes in America. black people. That's how you know you're African. We were always against homosexuality in the black community. I don't know why black people just will not accept it. Because, motherfucker, we don't accept it. That's why. But we don't accept it. Oh, that propaganda in America. Well, what's wrong with the black community? Why won't they accept sodomy? And why won't they accept it? They bring Barack Obama punk ass out there. This psyop ass CIA homosexual Negro. Well, black people need to change your ways and adopt sodomy. Allow yourself to be sodomized. You're like, what? Huh? A lot of you goopy motherfuckers, he's the first black president. He might know better. Let's accept it. The answer is no. Hell no. Not now, not ever. Go ahead, Joe.
Ordinary citizens across Africa. Miriam, I don't hate anyone, but don't bring your lifestyles to our classrooms.
Exactly.
27
don't hate
South
you.
African.
Don't bring it to us.
We are Africans. We can love and still have boundaries. Don't force what we're not. Religion is not a suggestion here. It's
See,
law.
they don't respect you.
Life.
That's why they don't respect who you are, your culture. They don't give a shit about your culture. It's about their dominance and what they want to do and tell you to adopt their fucking filthy behavior. African people globally, we were always moral. We're moral people. They want us to accept their immorality and then claim it as moral. We are moral people. Sadly, that's what got us all fucked up too. That we didn't kill the way other people killed. We're moral people. So if they push this filthy behavior on us, we lose our whole morality as human. We lose our whole humanity. And then they'll start pushing. You know what comes after this? I told you, it's always a way of pedophilia, because that's their culture too. They always hide behind the homosexual, the transgender. At the end of the day, they want to fuck your children. Okay? Openly. And not call it. At the end of the day, they want to fuck your babies. I said that years and I've been proving them right. I told you 10 years ago. They want to fuck your babies. Because that's their culture. They've always fucking their babies or eaten them. They've always eaten their babies and fucked them. See, when the mask is off, the African can't fathom this kind of wickedness. Okay? They want to fuck your babies. I'm going to be brutal and real with you. They want to fuck your children. Okay? This is what this is about. They want access to your baby. That's why when Joby showed you a couple years ago with them babies on that plane, and I think it was Chad, whatever, because they want to fuck your babies openly. And you not disagree with it. They want to say this is normal behavior. We'll have sex with a 30-year-old man have sex with a 5-year-old baby. That's what they want.
You see, countries like is it Afghanistan? I don't know. I saw an Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Who married a 6-year-old child.
Yeah, that's fucking freaking shit.
I'm like, this is crazy. And then the government had to come and intervene and say until she's 9 years old, that's when she's eligible for marriage.
Until she's 9.
9 years old.
You know how backward and crazy your culture is. 9 years. I told you that. I told you they would have in Afghanistan normally have sex with little boys. They told you that when Americans were over there invading and all the Afghani chiefs would say, well, I need a little boy. They say, no, what you mean little boy? Because what's going to warm my dick at night? Besides, what's going to warm? It's how backward and filthy these people are. What's going to warm my dick at night if I can't have a little boy's ass? You're like, what do you say to that? You tell me to see. You got to be diplomatic. You say that to me, though, in my face, I'll choke you to death.
But yes, as we get closer to winding up, I don't think about this video. I'll just jump into I believe the point has come across literally where African nations should have said no from the long time, from the word go about this, but like the AI said literally. Yep. We're not united in it as well, because we have South Africa. Ramaphosa can't even talk to save himself and from his people, just talking like someone who's from sleeping, waking up, go address the nation, something is wrong. It's super, super crazy. So we have division just like this. There's division, which is being caused, again, by the political class, those who are as well. And it's up to us, literally, as people go back to the culture. If we can literally snap our minds and understand there's something called culture and tradition, then that is something good. Because just like I was discussing from the first topic of even farming, most of this even knowledge today, you see most of the youths why they say farming is a dirty work is because that narrative is completely being changed. They want to twist every narrative to make it their own, and at the end of the day they're benefiting from what narrative they're twisting, because China, India, the UAE are farming in your farms, exporting this food back to their homes,
back to them free. Yep.
So we need to snap back out of the sleeping psychosis we've been in, literally. But as we come to the end on the last conversation of the day, like I said, shout to the Nigerians, or condolences to the Nigerians who are mourning the passing of the former president Muhammadu Buhari, who passed away yesterday at
He died?
Yes, at the clinic in London. Now that's literally
he died at the clinic in London because this moron wouldn't even build hospitals in Nigeria. Who would mourn a no good, dirty bastard like this who didn't do anything? He left the country better, but he couldn't even die in his own country because he built no credible hospitals. You Africans are, and see, this is what Cameron came, man. You gotta stop being mean to the Africans. Moron, shut the fuck up. All people disrespect African people. This is just a fact. And so until you get put your boots on and your big boy pants on, shut the hell up. Some of people being mad. You're so mean to the African. Because everybody else is mean to your ass. Time to grow up. You know they're not being mean to? Oh, Ibram Torre and them. Because they finally, standing on business, becoming men, smacking people in the face, finally showing power. Talking about, oh, he's so mean to the Africans. Well, stop being a bootlicking, handkerchief head doughboy then.
He was one among the invited leaders just on the recent invitation of Liberia. Can you speak English? He said no. He said he has other things to do.
I got things to do. Why the hell? You don't summon me, goddammit. I'm the one with power. You other bootlicks always get summoned. They'll summon a Ruto, Ramaphosa. You get summoned. Power. You don't summon me. You don't ask for me. Are you crazy? You don't summon me, boy. Especially, you don't summon me, Trump. What the hell you think you're summoning me? You don't summon me.
And that's power.
The answer is no. Exactly.
And that's power. But yes, let's look at some of the key important facts according to the mainstream media, all right? Not according to the reality of who Muhammadu Buhari was. Of course, in 1942, in Dora, Nigeria, he ruled Nigeria as a military leader from 1983 to 1985. In 2015, he became the first opposition leader to defeat a sitting president. And Buhari served as Nigeria's president from 2015 to 2023. Of course, which we've seen the other bootlick have taken.
And understand, they put him in power. That's the reason why now you got Boko Haram, because they would go try to stop Jonathan before he overthrew him with Buhari. They would knock him the fake terrorist group out the water. They would destroy the fake terrorist group. So that's why they had to get rid of his ass and bring in Buhari. Well, now terrorism is on the rise in Nigeria because they put him in to make sure terrorism continues. The Boko Haram continues. Understand that, guys? They put him in there. They put him. The West put this moron in power. They kept him there. And shout out to the honest South African who said, no, we were contracted by the previous president to get rid of Boko Haram. We were getting rid of him. And then they got the damn Buhari in there and everything stopped. Of course. Because see, that's where they go steal all the resources at in Nigeria and keep it poor and messed up. And you got the UAE talking shit about you can't come to my desert country. What? Africans, get something. Go ahead, Joby.
They're saying he was known for his strong fight against corruption and indiscipline. Indeed.
Yeah. So he was known for his fight against corruption. And corruption has exploded in Nigeria so bad that other people are banning their ass from their countries. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
time in office faced challenges like Boko Haram attacks, which you mentioned, and
Told you.
protests, which we saw a lot of people dying from that protest because they ordered shoot to kill. And of course, he peacefully handed over power to Bola Tinubu. Buhari passed away in London on July. That is just actually yesterday at the age of 82. And of course, these are some of these pictures. But this man, what we keep on talking about, a video, I'll go back to Minister of Health from South Africa who questioned, and he said he was worried because not looking at even his position, looking at his position as a Minister of Health and how these other leaders literally, how he's seen how they carry themselves when they have medical emergencies. He said it's sad that they have failed to create medical emergency hospitals here, which I've been saying. It's sad that you failed, even if it's just, funny thing, it would have even been better if we said we have one big best hospital in one of our African countries. Let's say South Africa, Ethiopia, or maybe Kenya, but none. All these puppets have to go all the way out, all of them, because none of them have even tried to be, they have not tried to compete with each other in any sort of way. Like, you can
They haven't built any hospitals. They haven't built any hospitals, right? It's always them talking about, oh, I need to build a church, Joby. The church, Joby.
Exactly, like you said that. Exactly. The other, I don't know which minister from Uganda, he had cancer, then went to the UK, got treated. No, is it India or the UK? Now he's back. He's built church as a way of thanking God. What? What are you learning from that? What about your people? They're supposed to go all the way to the UK. What if I can't afford a plane? Actually, how many Ugandans can afford to fly out? How many Ugandans have passports? Leave alone even passport. How many Ugandans have a job? Like, it's crazy. Critical thinking, again, that's why I go back to something Iwaton mentioned last week about conscious leaders. Like, they are not. Because something should just make you learn and do something about this situation so it doesn't get you, or you don't get caught up by surprise. What if you're having a heart attack? Something that can be just dealt with right here if you had the best proper facilities. But you'd rather pocket all the money. Again, crazy. You've seen all the funds they spent on running just the political seat, a presidential seat. That's a lot of money. Where does it go? What does it create, build? It's crazy. But that's why I come to the end of today's conversation. I see Sister Sinovia in the building. Shout out to you. She says, he's not an ancestor. Greetings to you too. Hope you're doing amazing. Hope you had a beautiful weekend and have yourself a beautiful week. She says also, he will not be celebrated for any good deeds. Well, we're Africans. I don't know. Africans are still Africans somehow. You'll always find someone just super sympathetic, crying, as if it's their family. You'll just find always a moral.
Exactly. Crying for some goddamn bootleg who didn't do anything for the country. You ain't even mad that this moron was in England because he ain't built no facilities for you. And you seen them facilities Joby showed like a couple of months ago in Nigeria. Can you imagine? I didn't know what that was. It's like a shack called it a hospital, no lights on. And then Nigeria's got the nerve to now cut the power off to Niger. So I'll be cutting your power off. You ain't even built shit in your own country, you morons. But you want to cut the power because the white man told you to cut off Niger's power to make them suffer because they're not going back to the table and being bootlegs. And even Terrell, he sent a message to you, handkerchief head Sierra Leone. He sent you a message. He said, attack if you want to. You'll be a fool to attack us. Your countries are, shout out that man, I love this young man. Your country's poor. You're poor. So you get money from Europe, a fake $130 million, supposed to go to war with us. We'll destroy you and we'll overthrow you and you'll be, exactly. You talk to his ass like a child. How about what you're gonna do? Bikini Foster's gonna come back to ECOWAS no matter what. You're not gonna do shit, boy. You don't got a real military. None at all. None. So you're talking out your ass. He said he dare you to attack Nigeria. Nigeria won't attack. Nigeria's a fake country with tribes. So that ain't gonna work. A Nigeria attack, I'll take it over. and sadly, your people will scream and actually come on my side. So you morons, I think your people know that. I think the people up top know if we invade Burkina Faso in these countries, we'll lose our country. Yeah, you'll lose them. And once I get them, I'm going to be absorbed into the AES. All political power will be, I'll destroy all you niggas. All your fake, your parliaments are going to be dissolved. In Sierra Leone, your parliament's dissolved. Because I've already killed your president. Nigeria, your parliament's dissolved. Whoever invades Cote d'Ivoire, you want to join them? Your parliament is dissolved. That's how China did it. That's why China's one country now. So the Chinese did it. Because remember, China was a bunch of kingdoms, like you goofy Negroes are right now. These bunch of fake countries. Invade me if you want. You know you won't win. Because your people don't like you. They're not going to die for you. They'll die for you, bootlicks. So, Europe's in a problem. Europe's got a problem. You Negroes won't be able to invade. See, Europe's got a problem. Your people can't stand your ass. Your people know you're corrupt and no good. So, any war against Burkina Faso, your countries are going to get taken over. And that's good because that can completely destroy your fake political European system. You're all you parliament people, you're all fired. If you talk shit, I'm locking your ass up and I'm giving you bubble gum to the head. Okay? I'm being a real ruler now. I'm bubble gumming you niggas to the head because y'all corrupt. You got people living in lakes.
That's what's up. And that's where we come to the end of today's conversation. Tomorrow, kindly wake up very early, kids, so you can catch up with me on time. Thank you. But anyway, that to also everyone who has been able to be.
Y'all must have went on early today or something.
I can tell you I'm on time nowadays. You enjoy mosquito always hating on me, you know. You enjoy mosquito.
Hey, is this thing working on the data, Joe? Because the internet's down, ain't it?
The internet is back.
Yeah, because I thought so. Because it's too good for the data.
I checked it out. I'd spoken to them yesterday. So
okay, you did good. Yes, that's great. Hey, Shimada, you give back my damn money, you no good bastard.
That's
why I didn't want to give Shimada the money. That was the damn. I can't sit. I don't know if I can send them a money. I had to wait tomorrow. That was the damn. The office money today for that was the grocery money.
It's okay.
Let's do it tomorrow.
Much love, family. Have yourselves a beautiful day and see you guys on the next shows. Come back and catch up with Iwaton, see what she's talking about. Catch us later on the Rhythm Scoop Show, and of course we have the Africa Today Show. Don't miss out. We get
Africa Today Show. I didn't have a chance to do. Don't go crazy. I didn't have a chance to come on this weekend. I was doing some stuff I needed to do. So we're going to talk about what I had to talk about today. We're going to talk about this Essence Fest. You guys been on the internet or TikTok, you know, it's been an Essence Fest. People going crazy about the Essence Fest thing because of the African influence now, right? African Americans are getting mad. They think the Africans are trying to come in and damn hijack, colonize the event. So we're going to put that into some kind of perspective because it's always black people or African Americans becoming xenophobic like the South Africans. I see a lot of moronic comments because African Americans are stupid too. You know, they want to blame the Kenyan lady who's now the director over it and say, is this Kenyan lady trying to colonize the Essence Fest? Is the Kenyan lady bad? So we're going to talk about it tonight. You guys are mad about the Kenyan lady and the Liberian. As Joby said, you guys know, Liberians are still with you too. They were African Americans who were forced to go to Liberia to start that country. You get mad because the Liberian man owns it and the CEO is a Kenyan lady. So you're going crazy. You're jumping out the who told this Kenyan lady to come and destroy our culture? Calm down, morons. We're going to talk about that.
Much love.